You guys are doing a great thing. It's such an uncomfortable topic to talk about, especially for a guy, young guys in their early 20s. And, I'm glad that, I could tune in and, listen to you guys.
Spencer Kobren's The Bald Truth.
Hey guys, welcome to the broadcast. 888-659-3727 is the toll-free number. This is the Hairloss Show, of course, The Bald Truth. EST period 1998.
EST. You assume everyone knows what that means today.
It existed since established in 1998. Believe it or not. And, no one knows shit today. That's the biggest problem. Doctors don't know shit. Let me tell you this. I happen to like this kid. He's getting himself out there on social media. Maybe at some point I'm going to work with him. I don't know. And I'm not going to put any names out there, but there was an Instagram Live, two doctors we both know, talking about the history of FUE, talking about FUE surgery in general. And I had to kind of stop myself and just recognize he's essentially a kid. He may be a physician, and he obviously is a smart guy. He's a good-looking kid, too. I mean, I think he does really well on camera. Good teeth and good hair. I noticed teeth and hair. So anyway, guys, hold on. 888-659-3727. So they are discussing two things, which I found funny. And if you're listening, Doc, take this in the spirit that's meant, because I appreciate you going out there and putting yourself out there as a young doctor in this field. It's not easy. Initially, he tells this other doctor, who's part of what we do, part of what I do, that
what you do,
that he really admires this field because all the physicians seem to be so collegial. and I have to say that I'll tell you who the other doctor, Dr. Ken Anderson, I have to say he was very diplomatic. He basically, I just saw his face. And then he just said, I've met some really good people. I forget exactly what he said. I met some really good people in the field. And there are people out there who are willing to help each other. And I don't know, Ken, if you're watching, I can't quote you verbatim, but it was a very nimble response.
Nimble. Well said. I like that.
I had a cup of coffee earlier. So, but I'm watching this kid who's really taking, and I hope I don't sound condescending by calling you a kid, Doc. But I'm watching this young physician, trying to navigate the conversation, and he's very good. I'll grant him that. And then they start talking about the history of FUE. And I'm like, holy cow. How is this not something that, Ken was close. Ken has been around for a long time. But even he got in a little later in the game into the field. So he doesn't necessarily know all the steps and exactly what happened and the incredible, the oral history that I have on the show, and the fact that Bill Rassman, when Ray Woods was here in Los Angeles in 2000, I had just moved here. I was doing the show out of Westwood One. Ray came on the program, and Bill Rassman called in, and they essentially went head to head. I'm gonna air that on the program at some point about the relevance and the issues, and the fact that essentially Bill was saying that FUE, which was the Woods technique at the time, would never have any mass appeal. And, he was talking about all of the possible issues with what Bill, Bob Bernstein, his colleague, coined as FUE. And it was a great argument. It was actually an argument on the radio. And I had a good producer at the time who was playing the theme from Rocky and something else. But it was fascinating to hear a young person's perspective who's new to the field, not knowing any of this reality, and even Ken's perspective, because Ken was working with Bill Rassman, and of course, Bill's not going to tell Ken this truth because in the hair loss world, it is Bill Rassman who, I'm going to put this in quotes, invented FUE hair transplant surgery. Mm-hmm. So I find it interesting just how bastardized the history really is. And it really, we have the history on the American Hair Loss Association, and we have the history to some degree on the IHRS, but it is really kind of making me think about writing another book.
Yeah.
So I contacted my original publisher. Mm-hmm. And essentially they still have the right of first refusal. And now it used to have to be a query letter. I used to have to deal with my agent who is no longer with us. And all this happy, horseshit. And the original editor of my first book is no longer over at Simon & Schuster. I think he's still alive. Everyone's dying and they're old at this point.
Apparently.
Now, while it's been an extended period of time, the right of first refusal is basically gone anyway. But I wanted to give them the opportunity. And they said, yeah, we'll definitely do an updated version if you want to write it. And I'm like,
should do it.
But now I'm thinking, I hope they're not listening. Do I only want to take 15% of the cover price at this stage when I can just put it out through Amazon? Mm-hmm. When I started, being published by a top 4 publishing house was a big deal. You're a published author for real. Now people could self-publish and they could sell as many books, if not more books, and they get to keep the lion's share of the money. You don't need the old school marketing of like Simon & Schuster. Now, if they do give me, if we could negotiate a nice advance, then maybe I would do it with them. If you're listening.
Now you're talking. Hint.
But it motivated me. When I was listening to these guys, I'm like, even the guys in the industry don't know the truth.
Yeah.
And that's
exactly.
But it's really more about consumers understanding how things evolve so they can make better informed decisions. Because not everybody's claiming to be a pioneer is a pioneer. Not everybody's claiming to have done certain things in the field, have done those things in the field, and they are marketing their wares to, in some cases, unsuspecting consumers who believe all this complete horse shit. And this is then being kind of written in textbooks by other guys who are full of shit, who are going online still talking about the black market.
It just gets deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
It's never ending. And it's up to us to keep having to right the ship as far as the truth goes, the real history. Because no one else will.
And eventually I'll talk about my night last night where I met I don't know if this is politically correct, but I'll say a Vietnamese girl. I'm not going to say. Let's just say it seemed.
Why would that be politically incorrect?
Well, if I said off the boat, fresh off the boat, that's politically incorrect.
Is it really?
I don't know.
I don't think it is.
And
I don't think it is.
The name is spelled A-N-H. I could barely. I'm like, what? So it's like Anne, I guess. Seems to be a popular name in Vietnam.
Yeah, it is.
She complimented my hair. And I tried to pull the joke. Well, it hasn't moved since 1987. A, she wasn't born in 1987. B, she did not get that joke because of the language barrier. And she actually said to me, "Oh, I'm sorry." I had to laugh. I almost spit my drink out.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Spencer.
Yeah.
That's good.
I hope she's not listening.
God bless her heart. God bless her.
888-659-3727. I mean, if she was listening, I guess there's no subtitles. Oh, is that terrible?
Oh, hey now.
All right, let's take a phone call.
Yeah.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Kenny from New York.
Kenny, what's happening, brother?
Kenny, how's it going?
Good. How is everybody?
Come on, look at us. We're great.
No, hair looks good.
What,
So, yeah.
what more do we want?
Look, I'm standing up straight. I still got some hair on my head. Everything's good.
Yeah, no, it's great. But
That's
no,
your
I
time.
just called
That's
tonight
your
'cause I
cue to
just-
talk, Kenny.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening?
Good. I'm just quick question with hair as far as like I understand last week I had called in regard to like dutasteride and everything like that. But I do feel that I think what I'll end up doing is I'm gonna end up I think getting on ProScar and cutting into 4s. I do think maybe upping my dose of finasteride will help a little bit.
Now, who
Like
the
I
hell
said,
told you that?
did-
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. But the shedding, knock on wood, has kind of subsided, so it might have just been like a temporary thing. But ProScar and Propecia, I understand they're both the same drug, right? Do you think there's any possibility of a shed if I were to go on it, just cold turkey or anything?
Look, anything is possible, but it's unlikely that that's going to happen. There could be there's different coloring in the tablets, and there could be some slightly different binders. I am not 100% sure, but the drug is exactly the same. Manufactured in the same facility. One is a 1 milligram dosage, one is a 5 milligram dosage.
Yeah, okay. Because
So unless you're some anomaly where, food coloring screws you up, I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay.
Right. Yeah, because I do feel maybe upping my dose will probably help me. Like, Propecia has been great as far as like allowing me to maintain my hair for the most part. I've been on it now 11 years, but I do notice there's a slight change. And it could just be like a summertime shed. I don't know, if that's even a thing. For me, I think I do shed a little bit more closer towards the summer or during the summertime. So maybe my hair will go back to normal by the fall. But yeah, so that's just how I feel about it. And maybe if I just get on 1.25 per day, maybe that will help.
I'm telling you, you're leading the witness, brother. You want me to say yes? That's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, I'm going to end up doing it anyway. No. I was just curious about the.
That's good.
Because if it's the same drug or not, or if it's a little bit different. But with the coloring, I understand that because it is blue.
Yeah. And I respond really well to blue dye number 2, so I'm good with it. But,
okay.
No, but I don't think you're gonna. I mean, listen, you never say never, but it's manufactured by the same
dye
company.
And Viagra.
Exactly. It's the exact same formulation they've been using for 30. When was it? 1992. Don't make me do math. Well over 30 years. 35 years, 36 years.
I think 92, yeah.
And all they did was switch from a 5 milligram dosage to a 1 milligram dosage for hair loss. Same formula.
I see. Okay. All right. Yeah, because as far as oral minoxidil goes, I'm not really comfortable taking that yet. I mean, maybe in the future it's something I'll have, in my back pocket. And then, like I said last week, my dermatologist, he recommended if I felt like I was losing ground on Propecia, he prescribed me dutasteride. But the problem that I have with that is, it's a much stronger drug. If I were to get on it, I would probably just do once a week. But
I'm going to pull a ChatGPT
am I really ready to
for
do
you?
it?
You're absolutely right. You're making the right decision. And I don't know if you know the difference between ChatGPT 4 and 5. Well, ChatGPT 4 is more of a sycophant. Essentially, it really bolstered people's confidence by agreeing with them on everything. or saying they're making the right decision and things like that. So Joe didn't even hear the joke. But yeah, listen, brother, you are, I think, making the smart decision. I'm not a doctor. You want to start with what you know, right? This is the devil that you know. You've had no adverse side effects. You've been able to maintain your hair. You want to see if you can improve things. So there's nothing wrong with giving that a shot before you jump on dutasteride. That's a smart move.
Right, which I figured anyway. And like, just a side question, because like I'm in my 30s now, and body's changing and everything like that. Like, have you ever like experienced?
Didn't that happen when you're like 12? It's just now happening for you.
What?
You said your body's you're getting older. Your body's changing. Didn't that happen when you're like 12? Well, it's just not happening for you.
No.
Finally,
no. Like
it's like took a while. Jeez.
No, but
okay.
But like, but no, like, because like with like the body and everything, it's I don't even know how to explain it, but like, do you feel like people who maybe experience hair loss like earlier, like for me, I started experiencing it earlier in my 20s, I felt like I would get, sick more often, like with the cold or what have you. Whereas like in my teens, I didn't really get sick. And then like, do you think like hair loss can correlate with that? Like people who maybe experience hair loss in their 30s suddenly get, sick, or not even often.
Are we on
like
TikTok Live? What's going on here, Joe?
I don't know. What do you mean, TikTok Live?
The question.
Oh, okay. I don't watch TikTok Live. I don't understand the reference.
Listen, honestly, brother, I don't think there's any correlation. I don't mean to bust on you, man. No questions are stupid questions. So forgive me. I'm just I'm in a mood today. But I would say this: our bodies do change as we get older, for sure. Except for mine. But Joe's gone through some massive changes. And I think that we
okay.
Yeah. I think that we do respond differently to different things. The one thing that I've known, at least in my particular case, it seems like finasteride has continued to do its magic for a very long time. Now things have progressed over the years. It's not perfect, and I've had to up my dosage. But as far as a correlation between you getting sick and losing your hair, I don't think so. You were just older. Maybe you were living a slightly different life as well. Your immune system changes as you get older. It gets a little weaker as you get older. And you have to kind of do certain things to kind of maintain a strong immune system. And a lot of kids in their, 20s aren't doing the right things to maintain their immune system. When you're a teenager, you could basically do almost whatever the hell you want to your body. You could eat barely any protein. You're still going to grow, and your immune system's still going to be, if you're a normal person, still going to be strong. But as you get into your 20s, things start to change. And once you hit 30, that's it. It's a ticking time bomb. Everything's downhill. You got to work.
Right. You
got to work hard.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because, like, for me personally, I don't always get sick, but it's just something I've been aware of, like, as I got old, because I'm not that old. I'm in my mid-30s, but it's just something that I was just wondering if there was any correlation to anything like that.
I don't think there's any correlation.
Okay.
Sorry to disappoint you, but I really think that...
No, I'm not disappointed.
I think that you're making a good decision for yourself. And I think that you're going to call back in a while. You may call back next week to ask the question, which is fine. But once you up your dosage, I'm pretty sure you're going to be satisfied. I'm not a doctor. I have no crystal ball. But you've been doing so well on the medication for all this time. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it or anything like that. I was just curious if, like, the actual drug itself, if it was a little bit different, but I had a feeling it was pretty much the same thing.
Well, listen, brother.
It is.
We're going to take another call, but I always appreciate you calling in, Kenny, and I think you're in a good position. Don't worry so much.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right, bye.
888-659-3727. Let's see who this is. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Not really. Yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
Hey, I'm David. I'm calling from Southern California.
Hey, David.
What's up, David?
So I just want to say I'm a really big fan of you guys before I get into my story. I think what you guys are doing is really great.
I appreciate you saying that.
Are you a subscriber to the channel?
I am.
Okay, good man. Do you follow Spencer and me on Instagram?
No, I do not, unfortunately.
Aha!
Why is that unfortunate?
Poser.
It's only unfortunate for you, brother.
Poser.
Well, I do see your stuff on TikTok from time to time.
You need to go over to Instagram and you need to follow me especially, but you can follow Joe too. And
Right. Well, anyway, I'm
it'll be
21
helpful.
years old.
Yeah.
I started noticing hair loss when I was 20. Been on finasteride for about 6 months. 3 milligrams per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've noticed that it's thickened up the crown and the midsection, but it hasn't. I mean, it's maybe improved the front a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about maybe in between a Norwood 1 and a 2. Maybe 1.5.
So basically, you are a normal male with a normal male adult hairline.
Full head of hair.
Well, right, but I do have a little bit of hair greed here, but
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: you're 21 years old. You've been on the drug for how long?
6 months.
Do you understand what a miracle you're experiencing right now?
Yeah, it's I'm kind of surprised that it's worked. It's really thickened things up.
I mean, it is a miracle. You have to understand that when I was your age, losing my hair, this didn't exist.
Right.
There was nothing except all the same snake oil you see on TikTok and on Instagram. That's all that.
Right.
That's all that there was. I was hanging upside down with gravity boots, putting cayenne pepper on my hair.
He's not joking.
I'm not joking. I was every wives' tale, the stuff that you see on Instagram, rosemary,
including rosemary oil.
Yeah, rosemary oil. Which there's doctors selling this now. It's insane to me. And every essential oil and every mixture. I bought this book. I'm not even going to promote it. Where I had to go and buy these herbs and boil it in this like a cauldron and put this shit on my head, And I did it.
A black pointy hat too.
Yeah, I did it. I bought a videotape of a guy that said you can meditate your hair to grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I was dealing with. So I just want you to put things in perspective of what you have today. There is a chance that you will never be bald.
Well, that's really my hope, but I know that, in the future I may start to lose ground. I will eventually might need to get, a hair transplant.
What's your family history? Is your father bald or balding or grandfather on either side of the family?
Yes, he's my grandfather on my father's side had a full head of hair until he was about 60, and then he started to lose it, but he passed away.
Good for him. He made it clean. He got a clean exit.
Yeah. So he looked good in the casket.
Yeah.
And on my mother's side, everyone, has hair.
So you basically have pretty good hair genes.
Well, I mean, I started balding at 20. It's,
Yeah, but we don't know. Age it's an interesting thing. Normally, when someone starts the progression early, they progress rapidly or to a higher extent. But there are cases of those who really do have some miniaturization, and they kind of just stay that way for many years. Look at a guy like James Woods. That guy's had a receding hairline since he was in his 20s. Definitely thought this guy was going to be bald.
Sorry, caller, the James Woods. If you don't know, you obviously don't know who he is because you're 21. He's a very old actor that's in his 60s, maybe 70s now.
Yeah.
He's older.
It's been in some big movies maybe 30 years ago.
Let's put it this way. I used to work in a pharmacy, Salem Pharmacy, and he lived upstairs. And he used to order, I'm pretty sure this was him. My memory could be a little screwy, but I'm pretty sure it was him. 2 packs of Pall Mall Gold every Saturday to be delivered to his apartment.
Pall Mall Gold.
And he paid me in quarters.
Wow.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that's a true story. And I'm pretty sure it was James Woods. So don't sue me, Mr. Woods.
I also have psoriasis, and I was really wondering if a person with mild or maybe sometimes moderate scalp psoriasis can even have a hair transplant.
Well,
that's a great question.
Yeah, I'll let you answer that.
You can, or a person with psoriasis can of the scalp, but better clinics will recommend that it gets under control through some sort of treatment through the guidance of a dermatologist, unless the hair transplant doctor wants to jump into the fray with advice. But they usually want you to have it under control for several months with no flare-ups, so that when they're placing grafts into the skin, it's a clean, healthy canvas to work on. Because with psoriasis, you got inflammation, which you don't want any of that when you're having surgery of any sort. You want to have a very tempered recipient area, whatever the surgery may be, so that there are no complications. There's nothing that becomes an X factor or a variable that can influence the outcome. And they just want it to be clean and disease free. So your shampoos like Nizoral, something with ketoconazole, something like that can help with that. It's really good to look at your diet before you dive into a regular routine of treatment. Look at the root cause and see if you're like eating bad food or something, or if you have some sort of allergic reaction to something. That can also contribute to skin conditions like psoriasis. So look at yourself first. I mean, treat it with whatever you're told to treat it with. But while you're doing that, look at maybe root causes, so that you don't have to treat the symptom, but you can get rid of the cause itself.
Okay.
It's important to consider. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Because I had heard Dr. Rassman said it was okay, and I think he actually has psoriasis.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you weren't having a flare up, I'm sure that he was right.
Right.
How did you ask Dr. Rassman? Is he still doing a blog? I mean,
well, that balding blog got taken down, but I had just typed it in. There's you can search on that website.
Now I'm curious, why was it taken down?
But it's no longer up.
Bill loved that.
I have no idea.
Bill was he used to really brag about the balding blog.
Oh yeah.
And I just had one more question because I'm such a big fan. Whatever happened to Joe from Staten Island?
I keep him. He's in the basement.
Wow.
Doing some work for me. Now, Joe had an issue with me at some point. I think it's basically because I brought Joe on as a co-host instead of Joe from Staten Island. I'm not even joking. He actually was upset about that 10 years ago. And then he got sober. He came around. He started to call the show again a little bit and say hi. And he sounds great. Yeah,
he was very cool with me. And he was never not cool with me. Like even back when I first started on the show full time. But he hid that behind the scenes. But he was very gracious with me when he started calling back in a few years ago. It was nice to talk to him, and he sounded good too.
No,
he sounded healthy.
He sounds great.
Yeah,
but
good.
Yeah, but listen, brother, you're in a good position. You are. I mean, God, if I wish I would have had this medication in 21. I suffered for 8
Me too.
years. And it
came out right when I had my first transplant.
Yeah, I mean, you actually
and I didn't even know about it.
You could have done something. You know, I had no choice. You know, except that I was using minoxidil concoctions before Rogaine was even approved, and it was nuts. But luckily, I will say that using topical minoxidil did buy me some time, for sure, until I was able to get my hands on Proscar. But I wouldn't have had as much pain as I did. And I probably wouldn't have had as much booze in my system for those years as I did. But, listen, live and learn.
Great. Well, thank you guys.
What was that?
Sorry?
I said thank you guys.
Oh, listen, good luck, man.
Oh.
Thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
And
Thanks for calling.
We appreciate you being a fan. Take care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye. I'm thinking about somehow trying to jerry-rig a TikTok live while I'm doing this. But what I would have to do is use my microphone like a walkie-talkie. So,
what could go wrong?
In order for these guys to be able to hear us. But I'll see. I may have to get a little bit of a tripod in a second. Let's take a phone call. You may be able to handle this call yourself. We'll see. I'll cut in. But while we're doing that, I'll see if I can get a little tripod and set up this phone and see if we could get some
fired up
TikTok people. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you?
You got to turn down your radio, brother. Radio.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Hi.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're going to have to turn down your speaker or
Hold
whatever it is.
Yeah, how you doing? It's Kai from the UK. What's happening?
What's happening with you?
Colin?
Yeah, no lie, it's just quite late here in the UK. And, a bit tired. Getting old these days.
All right, well, I'm getting old. I am old. I'm not getting old. So what can we do for you, Clay?
He's
I'll
60.
go a quick one.
For crying out loud.
No, I'm actually, 33. But you know what?
No, I was talking about Spencer. He's 60.
No, Spencer's not 68, is he? I thought he was 59.
No.
No, he turned.
I'm 60.
He turned
I just
60.
look 59.
Well, you look young.
What's going on, Colin?
There's
Thank you.
Yeah, well, just a quick one for me. So, do you know anything about the drug Accutane?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, so I might potentially take it just because after COVID, my skin just hasn't been great. But what I do know is, I think I remember you did one of your podcasts, or
it's one of the worst things you can do for your hair, especially if you're already suffering with male pattern hair loss.
And that's
100%.
where I was trying to come from. So, what is the correlation between Accutane and hair loss?
It's interesting. For whatever reason, and I don't know exactly why, and maybe I should, what the mechanism is, but it seems to really trigger early onset male pattern baldness in teenagers. So some people will just go through telogen effluvium when they're on the drug. It's a very, very strong medication. Maybe Joe has more information on this, but and then they may regrow their hair. But it seems like people who have the genes for male and female pattern hair loss, they get on Accutane, it triggers it, and they continue to go through the process.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why that would trigger it, but I have a lot of experience from in clinic.
I'll be right back, Joe.
Yeah, no worries. From talking to patients when I worked in clinic that would be on Accutane or were about to go on Accutane or just come off of Accutane, and after, I don't know why it seems like there was a burst of activity with Accutane in the clinic I was working at maybe 20 years ago, maybe 18 years ago. And maybe that's when it first came on the market. I don't know. And everyone was trying it for acne and such. But we basically determined early on that it was a devil drug. Like, it was terrible for hair transplant surgery.
Yeah.
because if I recall correctly, and forgive me, it's been a long time since I dealt with this, but I recall that one reason why we didn't like it was because some patients were coming back with subpar growth, and all of them had been taking Accutane either right before surgery or even during surgery and throughout the recovery. And then with more experience and more time, it got to the point where the doctors would refuse surgery to any patient that had been on Accutane a minimum of 6 months prior to surgery. So if it had been 4 months prior, they'd say no, and maybe even bumped it up to a year. I don't know, because the effects don't disappear; they don't dissipate once the medication has been ceased.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the idea, and again, forgive me, I might not get this right, but I remember doing some research on it, and there was some sort of inhibition of cellular replication. That's how Accutane works. So it would prevent the bacterial cells in acne from multiplying, from replicating and growing. That was the mechanism or the approach that it would use to fight acne, and it's not recommended unless you have severe acne.
Yeah, so this is the problem with Accutane. Not a problem; it's by design. It slows down the skin cell turnover. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
hair, right. Yeah.
So your hair, obviously, it's on your skin, right? So if you're messing or you're doing whatever you're doing, if this drug is in some way changing the skin on a cellular level, it's gonna probably impact your hair to some degree. So skin-wise, I was gonna take it for a long term, so I'm talking years, Joe. I don't really have acne. I've got like oily skin for some reason, and the oil just gets to me because later in the day it would just be oily, and then sometimes it impacts the pores. So with Accutane, it basically removes the oil and your pores shrink. So it will make my skin really look great. Now, obviously, I'm not going to impact it. I can't think of anything worse. For example, if this impacts my hair, that's really going to mess me up, I think. Because at the moment, I'm in a good level. So I'm a normal 2, 2.5, give or take. Hair is really thick. So, you can't even notice it. Now, I don't really want to mess. I don't want to add any factors that can contribute, or because I don't really know if it's going to impact him in any form of way, if that makes sense, right?
No, absolutely, and especially when you're dealing with Accutane like that. It's such a harsh medication. I would say that if you're 6 months out and you think that you're back to baseline as far as being off of the drug, then if you can stand this issue, if it hasn't come back full force and it's driving you nuts, then do not, by any stretch of the imagination, consider it. Yeah. I would, just like I was saying with the previous caller, maybe start investigating the root cause of this this excessive oil production, because I'm assuming this is a new phenomenon with your physiology. It wasn't like this all your life. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think oiliness is a bit genetics as well, because my dad used to have it, and I've always battled with it, but it's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm becoming more perfectionist, and I'm just picking on something that shouldn't, doesn't need touching with. But the thing is, obviously, I did go to a dermatologist, and they did recommend it. And obviously, I knew when she recommended it, I said no straight away, because, I know what the drug's like. The last time I took it was back when I was, 20? So it was 15 years ago. No, sorry, 13 years ago. So it's been a long time since I've been on it. That's why I know when I was on it at the time, it was really powerful to the point where, the skin was so dry, Joe. And your lips would be chapped, or they'll be cracked. I think there's obviously other really bad side effects, which I don't really want to even look at. But my main concern was, I don't want to be in a scenario where, so the thing with Accutane also is, if you come off it, the oil comes back. So then can you imagine, I ruin my hair, plus the skin isn't what I want it to be. So that's the double whammy. Yeah, cheers for that, Joe. It was just something I wanted to double check because I know it's something you guys talked about.
Yeah, and I've dealt with it many times in the past, like I said. And thanks for adding to. I knew it was some sort of slowing down of the cellular replication. I just couldn't remember. It's specifically on the skin cells. So that's once you said that, it all came flooding back. It's like, okay, now I remember. Yeah, so good on you for that. Appreciate that. But yeah, your hair sounds like it's fantastic as it is. So absolutely, you don't want to risk that. And find alternatives for the issue if it gets overwhelming. Leave the UK.
I think I'll do that.
That's one thing.
Yeah, listen, guys. I just went live on TikTok. You're gonna hear me kind of jerry rig this by turning on the mic and turning off the mic, kind of like a walkie-talkie. So, guys who are tuning in on TikTok, welcome to the broadcast. We're live, trying to do our thing here. This is a call-in show. And
do they just hear you, or they hear both of us?
When I, again, use the mic like a walkie-talkie, they could hear both of us through my speakers, directly through the phone.
Through the speakers. Okay, got it. Yeah. Hey, hello, land of TikToks.
Don't even worry about it. We got like 0 people in there right now, but whatever. We'll give it a shot.
I guess I'm a millennial where I avoided the TikTok era. For me, it was Instagram. No, it was Bebo, Facebook, Instagram, and then that was it. TikTok, I don't have the patience to.
I'm talking about MySpace here, buddy. MySpace.
Oh, MySpace. I did have it, believe it or not, for 1 year, and then it just died. Who was that guy you always had to add on MySpace? God, he was like the only friend when you first sign up. Tom, I think that was it. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm going to really have to get my brain working to try to do this walkie-talkie thing for TikTok. But eventually what I like to do is, for whatever reason, I cannot connect my software to TikTok at this point. I can do it with Instagram so people could actually hear you guys calling in. But guys who are tuning in on TikTok, we have a toll-free number, 888-659-3727, so you can feel free to give us a call. This is a hair loss show. If you have questions, concerns about your hair loss, just give us a call, and I'm more than happy to answer. 2% good shampoo. Go ahead, brother.
Do it.
All right, guys, I'll leave you to it. Hopefully there's other callers that I might call in, chime in, and you can help them out. But I appreciate the input.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for calling, Colin.
Listen, good luck, brother.
Get some rest.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Phone number is 888-659-3727. We are live. This is the Hair Loss Show. Let's take a call. Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Austria, Europe.
What's happening, brother? What's your name?
All right. What's your name?
My name is Chris.
Chris, welcome to the podcast. What can I do for you? What can I do for you?
Yes. Big fan of your Spence, and you too, my friend.
Right on.
I'm a big fan of you, Spence, and you too, my friend.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you.
I feel it.
I'm really glad that you're more of a fan of mine than my friend's.
Because he remembers your name.
Just saying. Chris. I remember your name.
What's going on, Chris?
So what's happening, brother?
I had 2 hair transplants 5 years ago.
Okay. At the same time?
I'm always on treatment. Yes, it's been going great. It's been going great. And I've been, since my first operations, always on finasteride and minoxidil, topically, 2 times daily, and 1 milligram finasteride daily. And then by growing my hair out, it was better than in my youth. I'm now 33 years old. Mm-hmm. And this March, I decided to switch from topical minoxidil to the oral minoxidil because I saw everyone, even on your guys' show, someone said it's stronger than the topical version. So I started the oral version and stopped the topical, and I noticed more and more shedding until 2-3 weeks. I noticed a massive on top and crown losing. And switched immediately back in on topical, and just want to hear your guys' opinion on that, because is it possible that it didn't work out for me, the oral minoxidil?
Well, it's possible, but whenever someone asks me about changing, not just changing medication, but the same medication, but the format, topical to oral or oral to topical, same medication, I always stress that alone can trigger an effluvium, because I mean, there's some other factors to consider, but just the main difference in the delivery mechanism itself can induce a shed. And I don't know why, but it's just the way that it's coming into the system differently. It can trigger something. It's just, it is what it is. And you just experience that. I always believe in titrating down on one and titrating up on the other simultaneously.
I don't know. I think it was not just the shedding. I think it's just stopped working because I was losing so much, and I was really stable for 5 years with the topical minoxidil. And
well, no, fair enough.
Really,
fair
really
enough,
impressive.
You said
growing,
this. You said this
like
went down over the course of 3 weeks, right?
Use my pictures as for their example. Yeah. I didn't. When I go under this whole process with the transplant, expected this results. But most of course, in the crown and top, it's not. It was not the transplant. It's my transplant. It was mostly on the front. Yes, the rest was all medication.
Chris, did you say that? Did you say this happened over the course of about 3 weeks? Is that what you said?
No. 3 to 4 months, and after 4 months.
Okay.
I just decided I can't look at this thinning, and just gave it a buzz cut and re-added the topical again, and yeah.
Okay. And when did you switch back to topical?
I don't even stop the oral, but I re-added in the topical again.
Okay.
3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. Almost 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Okay, well, I think it's probably a good idea I don't know if it's a good idea, but I think maybe that would be less of a shock to your system if you don't just jump between one or the other. You did that at first. You stopped the topical, started the oral. You had the problem.
Yes.
You're maintaining the oral, and you're back on the topical. So I think that's my gut tells me that's the better way to reintroduce the topical into your system without getting rid of the oral. Okay, so my opinion on this is it's obviously unfortunate, and I feel bad for you, especially after having
really shocking because I thought I was
hair
over
transplant
this
surgery.
Yeah,
I totally get it. Well, I was saying, especially after having 2 successful hair transplants and then 5 years later going through this, it's got to be devastating. And I feel your pain on that. I really do. And I think that, so my opinion on this is if you want to play with your medication again in the future, don't just stop one cold turkey and start another. Titrate.
Yes. I even
slowly introduce
watched
new things.
Watched a lot of videos on the switching, and they also said there is no shedding phase when switching from one to another, and you can just stop the other. And
that is completely incorrect. What videos did you watch? Probably from physicians.
The hairloss show.
Probably from physicians,
the hairloss
right?
show from the hairloss show with this Indian doctor and the Russell Crowe, I think is his name, the older one with the glasses.
It's Russell Nixon, not Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's the actor, but close. Yeah. They kind of look like. Yeah. Here's the thing.
And he's Australian. So.
Here's the thing, and I find this fascinating, especially for whatever reason. And all these physicians, they treat patients. For whatever reason, they all claim that there's going to be no shedding if you switch from one medication to the next in general, whether it's generic finasteride or whatever. And this whole minoxidil phenomenon, we are seeing guys who have been on topical minoxidil for a decade who decide to get on oral minoxidil, and they go through a significant telogen effluvium. It's only logical that you should be weaning off of the topical, even if you introduce low-dose oral minoxidil, I would tell someone to take a year to wean off.
Yeah. Now I saw many videos of you, Spence, and you said you didn't want to take any risk, and I'm at the same. I literally did my research for 18 months or something before I started the oral. But now I'm never going back from the topical. I just can't risk it again. I'm just hoping it's gonna have the same effect as the 5 years before.
What a kick in the gut that must have been. Researching 18 months, already happy with your hair. Wow, dude, that sucks.
Really happy. I'm
sorry,
happy,
I really am.
It was just a styling issue. It was just a styling issue with the topical minoxidil and always greasy, dry hair. But now it's a really higher price, losing so much than having grooming problems.
Well, I want to make you, just so you recognize this, your hair follicles were growing. They were in an anagen phase for a long period of time. So you were pumping out hair for many years. Yeah, you went through a massive effluvium, which happens, but there's a pretty good chance, I would say almost 100% chance that you're going to regrow that hair. Things are going to start to cycle normally. And being on low-dose oral, you're going to have a better end result for the long term.
Yeah, I'm on 5 milligrams oral. And even my surgeon from the transplant care says, no, you can stop the topical and start immediately with the oral. You can immediately stop with the topical. And I asked,
who was your surgeon?
Really cold turkey. Something like
who was your surgeon?
Clinic in Turkey. My surgeon. Wow.
Really?
His name is Dr. Gürkan. Yes.
Oh, Dr. Gürkan. Okay, yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
no pun intended.
He's wrong, unfortunately.
In my case, unfortunately, yes.
I wouldn't say in your case, and I don't want you to think that you're an anomaly. In everyone's case, any physician who recommends you just switching from being on topical medication for years to then just saying oral medications, it's the exact same thing. It's not. There is a significant change.
My intentionally thought was that maybe my scalp was addicted 5 years ago now to the topical, because I always took it consistently, really. No matter where I was always taking it most of the time, 2 times a day. Really, rarely 1 time a day. Yeah, and now I'm in this position with a buzz cut, and you still can see on some places the thinner hair. It's really, really draining. But you gotta make the best.
I'm sorry that you're dealing with this, but I could tell you almost with 100% certainty that within 6 months to a year, you're going to be back to where you were, if not better. And I'm not taking the chance.
Thanks, brother.
Look, I'm not taking the chance. Yeah. I am now dealing with retrograde alopecia. I blow dried my hair today.
Really?
I've been dealing with it noticeably for about 3 years. It was probably happening prior to that. But, the sides and the back, like by the nape, it's much thinner. And even when I blow dried today, I'm like, I could see my scalp like in this area on the sides. Now it's dry. But when it's wet, it's like I could see directly through it. But just 5 years ago, it was probably happening then, but it was very dense, and I can grow my hair long.
I know it was happening. I know it was happening in 2016 when I saw you in Vegas. Wait, what?
That is terrible.
You taking only finasteride, Spence?
No, it wasn't.
Or on minoxidil?
You could have told me.
We were drinking. We're having fun.
I thought you only.
You could have told me. I could have done something about it.
Sorry?
Hey, Chris, can you do us a favor, and can you tell us about your experience at Smile Clinic? I'm curious. You had 2 surgeries with them?
Yeah. Yes, I had 2 surgeries, most of them in the front. It was really a good experience with them. I can say nothing bad about them. Otherwise, the advice they gave me on the change from the, but it was my decision. I came to them up, but I asked them, can I switch from topical to oral minoxidil? Can I go cold turkey immediately? Yes, and they say yes. You can stop as soon as possible with the topical and start the other one. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And it got worse and worse.
And you had the same doctor both times, Dr. Gherkin?
2 months ago. Yes.
No pun intended.
Yeah. And I remember 2 months ago when I was applying conditioner, I had really thick strains from hairs. Really, it was like someone losing on cancer. It looks like it was really bad. And then I was thinking, this can't be just shedding from the oral minoxidil. Something is going wrong here. And yeah.
Well, look, again, the good news is you're going through it. You're probably, how many months has it been?
How many months it was?
Since you started
to
shed.
Did I stop the topical?
Yes.
Or did I start shedding?
Both.
I stopped the topical minoxidil on 18th of March this year and started immediately with the oral one. And more and more I started to lose. Maybe after 5 weeks, it started that I having more hair in the shower. But then at least after 3 months 3.5 months, right before I shaved it a few weeks ago, I could really see it in the brush, so much hairs and different hairs. Before, when I was just normal hairs, in the brush, but it was thick, thin, long, short, and then I was being 100% sure on myself something is going wrong. This can't be just a shedding. Because I really had a full head of hair in the crown top. Really, you could make any style with it, comb it in every direction, wet or dry. You wouldn't see any scalp.
Wow.
Well, listen, man, that sucks. Yeah. That sucks. I mean,
it sucks.
If you're taking, if it's a good generic, the chances of you regrowing all of that are basically 100%. And it's just going to take you time.
I think I run through a little bit of shedding now because of the topical minoxidil. I think it's starting to slowing down now. But yes,
listen,
hoping for the best.
You hang in there. It's going. I'm telling you, I've seen this before. It always comes back. It's just unfortunate information. If you would have asked me, I would have told you, a minimum of a year of titrating off of topical. A minimum of a year.
Yes.
Bring it down to like almost nothing, but just put it on your head every day, and then every other day, and every third day, and then just kind of titrate that way for at least 12 months while you're introducing oral finasteride. Oral minoxidil. But
yes.
doctors, for some reason, I have to tell you, they don't know shit. I don't know why.
It seems like, but that's their job. They're dealing with that everyday medication. And hair transplant without medication is, from my, not even a
now, let me ask
topic.
TikTok, hold on for a second. TikTok, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to somehow jerry-rig this so you could hear the calls through my speakers. And, so it's kind of like I'm playing with a walkie-talkie here. I cannot directly do the program through TikTok. But if you want to watch live, you can go to thebaldtruth.com and then click on Watch Live. We're live there. You can go to YouTube channel. The Hair Transplant channel on YouTube. That is youtube.com/hair transplant mentor. Or you can kind of just watch here for a while on TikTok, and hopefully we can grow our lives here on TikTok. I just started TikTok like 30 days ago. So I'm just learning, and I'm old, so bear with me. So listen, brother, you're going to be Chris, you're going to be okay, Chris. But the problem is, and this is just the reality. These doctors just don't know shit. I don't know why. They don't like when I say that. But for many years, everyone said there's no way that that my intermittent therapy would work. And I've taken 5 milligrams of finasteride like once a week for many years, several decades. Now, I'm losing ground now. Is it because of the intermittent therapy? Probably not. What it did allow me to do is up my dosage to now taking essentially 2 tablets a week. And I'll tell you something that's interesting about that is I still have retrograde, so I think it's not DHT related, but I noticed that my crown has gotten a little fuller. Mm. So like if I don't paint, if I don't paint, and this is after 30 years in the drug, if I don't paint, I'll blow dry my hair and I'll be like, wait a second. Did I leave paint on my head? Did I not shampoo it out completely? And I'll shampoo it again. It's like, no. I think I have more hair up there again. So, and apparently Joe noticed my retrograde 12 years ago. He could have told me. Maybe I could have stopped it.
I can't even joke. It's like I'm going to hear this for the next 5 years.
Joe, you recognize it. You recognized it and didn't say anything. That's not good. That's not good. If you saw
no, I didn't. I'm just kidding. I was too drunk to notice. We're in Vegas. Come on.
But he was. I felt his eyes trying to check, especially when we first met. Him and Spencer Stevenson, they were laser focused on my head. And Spencer Stevenson's taller than me, so Joe had to stand on his tippy toes to check it out. But Spencer was like staring down like a spotlight.
I actually announced it. Okay, it's time to check each other's heads. Like, that's what we're there for. Like forget about a documentary. I don't care about that. I wanted to see your hair.
But what's interesting is like he took out like a pen, like some old school doctor, and he started to go through my hair with a pen.
It was actually a comb.
Anyway, man, when we were young, we were young, man, when we first met, and
you're going to take over the world. Sorry, inside joke there.
But it was great, though. You guys were a little nervous. I have to say, you were a little nervous to meet me. Slightly nervous. I didn't understand why.
I thought I saw a pool of liquid between your legs on the floor, but I'm just saying.
All right, guys. Anyway. Listen, Chris, you're going to be fine. I wish you the best of luck. I'm sorry this happened to you, but
yeah,
it's
one more question.
Oh, okay.
If it's okay,
go for it.
When I'm now in the little bit of shedding from the topical minoxidil at the moment, maybe I'm still allowed to brush my head. It's been so long.
Yes.
It's 5 years since my transplant. I didn't have that short of hair. I was in a shedding phase. I never experienced any second finasteride shedding or any minoxidil shedding while I was taking it the 5 years. So I don't know. I'm afraid to touch my head. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to brush your hair. Don't be afraid to brush your hair. It's healthy. It's healthier for you to brush your hair than not to brush your hair. Okay, so don't baby it. I've seen this in patients that have a hair transplant, and for the first 6 months after the hair transplant, they don't touch their head at all, and that can actually inhibit growth. So don't baby your hair. Just brush it like you normally would before you started with the change in your medication. With a comb or with a brush or whatever. Don't be too soft on it. Just nice, normal, full pressure, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Chris, man, listen, good luck. You're going to be fine.
It was my pleasure and my honor and to be on your show.
Oh, listen, it's our pleasure.
It's our pleasure to have you.
And I will say your story is a cautionary tale, especially all you kids on TikTok who are watching. Do not switch your meds just because someone tells you to switch your meds. You have to titrate off your medication, even if you think it's the same medication. Chris, good luck, man.
Don't ditch your rosemary oil for pumpkin seed oil.
No, never.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
All right,
thanks
brother.
for calling. It really is a valuable story. Yeah. Take care, buddy. Keep us updated.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye, guys. Yes, I will. Bye, guys.
All right.
Okay, 888-659-3727. I am like, a one-man band with cymbals between my knees trying to get this TikTok thing to work, which is not easy because no one could really, they can't hear you. So I have to use my mic, like my mic controller, like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Try to take calls. try to read what's going on TikTok, which I can't answer your questions on TikTok, guys. You can call in, though. Phone number is 888-659-3727. And you could also, if you don't want to watch on TikTok, go to thebaldtruth.com, watch live. And you can see us live there, or go to youtube.com/hair transplant mentor. And you could watch the program, call in. But I'm just trying to test this out. I'm new to TikTok. And I'm old, This is a new thing for me. I've been doing the show for 30 years, and I'm trying to somehow just get across to the, a younger audience who are being conned, misled, disfigured. By the way, anyone watching on TikTok, all 10 of you or 7 of you, whatever, almost everything you see in your feeds is nonsense, will not help you. If someone, a 20-year-old kid is selling you something on TikTok, scroll past it. None of what they are selling will help you with hair loss. You're not only wasting your money, but you're wasting precious time. Time equals follicles. You need to see a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
There's real medical therapy out there. If you don't want to take medication, there are more natural DHT blockers, but they are not as effective as finasteride, for instance. So to me, I did my biggest turnaround when I finally got on finasteride. That's it. That's the bottom line. This is a progressive disease. There's no cure. Cannot fix it. That's something that you have to understand, people. But you can manage it if you're lucky, if you make the right moves and don't waste your time with all the snake oils that you see on social media. We don't sell anything. I'm coming out of retirement. I'm not partnering with anybody. You're not going to see any links in my bio to some products. There's not going to be any discount codes or whatever they're called. If I do decide to take the podcast and what we're doing to a different level in my old age, and if I accept sponsors, I am not going to accept hair-related sponsors to the program.
Ooh, Jack Daniels.
That's just the way it is. I'll work with beer companies, shaving companies, things like that. Fine. So I just want you guys to know who are new, who are just watching me on TikTok for the first time, maybe following me. It doesn't seem like TikTok's really putting this out there like I heard they would if I went live. But whatever. Whatever, TikTok. I'm here to help all the young guys and women who are dealing with hair loss, being ripped off, being conned, being disfigured. All those influencers that you see who have just gotten hair transplants, or even just normal people who are now chronicling their journey on social media, they have no clue what they've just gotten into. Most of their lives it's ruined. They may look pretty good after 12 months, but that is the high point of that particular aggressive hair transplant that these kids are having. That's it. If they're in their 20s and they had a hair transplant, especially if they go overseas for an aggressive hair transplant, it's over, people.
So let's talk about John Cena.
You want to talk about John Cena?
Cena? Is it Cena? I thought it was Cena.
I'm pretty sure it's John Cena.
Well, then let's talk about John Cena, because that was the title of the show.
All right, we'll talk about John Cena's hair transplant.
Yeah. So a lot of people may not be aware of this. Like, people have talked about it for years. I found several YouTubers that are in the hair space from even 4 or 5 years ago talking about him having a hair transplant as if he had 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if he did or not, because I didn't give a shit and I didn't really look at them. I remember seeing titles. I never clicked on them because I just didn't care. But this one seems to be legit because it's in People magazine, where he's actually in an interview talking about having a transplant. And it was recent. He had one in November 2024. And the only reason I'm bringing this up, I normally don't give a damn about celebrity hair transplants. Sometimes they're interesting just because, the result might be really good. And it's like, I didn't realize. Or I might know a lot about the situation, and it's nice to see them finally admit it after I've known for a long time for whatever reason. But John Cena, it seems different to me because he addresses it prominently in this article or in this interview. And he said some things that relate to the everyday guy.
Spit it out, Jeff.
One thing he was talking about was when he was in the ring, there would be people out in the stands that would have signs saying "Bald John Cena" because of his bald spot that was being exposed during some of the matches that he was in, and that actually resonated with me because I had my bad hair transplants called out in public before. So I know that it was a gut punch for his balding spot to be called out in public. I mean, he's a superstar, right? And I understand why it was done publicly like that, probably just to throw him off his game, fans of other people, not him or whatever, or just some assholes, who knows. But he doesn't reveal who it was. He says he might in several more months. He's not even a year post-op. But I'd like to know the thoughts of the viewers, of any of the callers, and you can talk about it in the chat room too. But I'd like to know your opinion of him talking about this, because I think it's great. I think it's great that he talks about it publicly because it helps to normalize it, kind of like the whole Wayne Rooney situation, 15 years ago, kind of brought it to the forefront, kind of normalized it a little bit. But at the same time, I don't want it normalized because more people will be like, oh, well, I'll just go get a hair transplant and fix my hair without going through the proper steps of research.
Well, that's a very salient point. And the one thing that I hate about it is a double-edged sword. Normalizing hair transplant surgery is great, making people understand that it's available for those who make great candidates. That's great. But even these celebrities, when they speak about it, they make it like it's no big deal. I wish I would have done this years ago, when they're not recognizing what a difficult surgery this really is, what a nuanced, elegant procedure it really is. This is a guy who had mostly crown loss and some mid-anterior scalp loss. He had most of his hairline intact. Mm-hmm. So whatever results he does get will probably be significant as far as improving his appearance. And even if it's a slightly not perfectly well-executed transplant, he's going to have more hair and he's still going to be able to comb his hair back. So he's going to think it's a complete success, and so are his fans or the people that he speaks about. Mm-hmm. When he speaks about this publicly, he never talks about the reality of hair transplant surgery because he doesn't recognize what that is. Just like these other celebrities. You have Theo Von that talks about hair transplant surgery. He's already had at least 2 procedures that I'm aware of here in Beverly Hills, and this guy essentially has a full head of hair. Serious thickness on the sides and the back. He may have had some recession in the hairline that he wanted to address. I know the physician who performed the surgery is a very nice guy, and I don't think he would perform it. I mean, I don't know. He's never applied to the IHRS, but I don't think he would necessarily perform it prematurely because I know that Theo is on finasteride. But with that said, it might have been premature because he's already had 2 procedures. He has extremely thick hair that he wears down for the most part. And it's very possible that just being on medication, say, for an extra 2 or 3 years, maybe adding low-dose oral minoxidil, he never would have needed surgery. And now he's kind of in. He's in the game, and those grafts are used.
Yeah. Yeah, he's locked in for sure.
So I don't think that these kids fully understand what they're getting into. And these celebrities, the way they promote it, it's like it's nothing. But it isn't nothing. And all these doctors that promote themselves as hair transplant surgeons to the stars and celebrity hair transplant surgeons. Well, let me tell you this. Nicolas Cage's hair transplant surgeon used to promote himself as a celebrity hair transplant surgeon back in the day in New York. I knew this guy. He actually threatened to sue me at one point. But, there are guys out there that will promote themselves as Beverly Hills hair transplant surgeons, celebrity hair transplant surgeons, these Turkish guys who do that. Because they really work on getting celebrities and athletes and as they say in the UK and India, sportsmen on their websites, and they give them free hair transplants. But I'm telling you, at least 50% of these athletes who get hair transplants are unhappy in a relatively short period of time. They contact us. They contact Joe and they contact me. And they've already essentially convinced possibly hundreds of thousands of young people to undergo surgery without being fully informed. And when I speak to them about it, they kind of feel bad, but they're all unwilling to come out and say, I effed up, people. I'm sorry. So, while I appreciate John Cena thinking he made a good decision he may have for himself, going public with it this way, sadly, is a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
And that's what I got to say about that TikTok.
I'd say that to TikTok too, but they can't hear me. So
I don't even think they can hear me.
That's what he has to say.
I don't even know. I can't even see how many people I have in the room. 5, 10, 6. It's ludicrous. I've never seen this before. I go on Instagram live, and right away there's 45 people in there.
See.
Guys, the phone number is 888-659-3727. We'll take some calls. We have all lines open. And for whatever reason, it's a slow night. I'm probably going to go have dinner early, and maybe have a couple of drinks. I mean, it's Friday night. I am unattached.
Feeling all right.
I'm unattached at this point in my life. And my life is getting shorter, people. So I like to be as attached as often as I can. You know what I mean? So that's why I go out. Is this thing on, Joe?
Yes, I'm looking for my... There we go. No, not that one. Shit. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Jesus, man, you're getting old.
I know.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, I know what we can talk about. Someone else asked about this in the chat room. The capitalization or the opportunity that some doctors have taken. I predicted this. It's kind of easy to predict, though. When I called into your Instagram live show the other day, that there were going to be doctors that were going to try to capitalize on the unaliving of the patient that flew from London to Turkey to have a hair transplant recently. That's in the news all over the place.
That's really the way that it works. Sadly, I chose not to do it. People have asked me to discuss it. I'll answer people's questions about why this is a possibility, but I want people to understand that everyone who's promoting the idea that this is only happening in Turkey is essentially bullshitting you.
Well, I don't mind calling out Dr. Sam Lamb on this one because he made not one but 2 videos about this on Instagram. One was a short version, one was a long version. And he was very careful to asterisk his comments by saying it's not just happening in Turkey or India. He says it happens more in India than it does in Turkey. But he says statistically it happens more in India and Turkey than anywhere else in the world. I'd like to know where those stats come from. He said statistically. So what statistics is he referring to?
Well, I know of, in my career, I know of 2 deaths by hair transplant in Los Angeles. 1 death by hair transplant, I think it was in...
Chicago.
Well, Chicago, for sure. I think there were 2 in Illinois that I can recall. And let's not talk about unliving after hair transplants. That is off the rails.
Yeah.
When I first got into the industry, there's a big story about a guy who essentially, I don't know if I could say this, utilized a shotgun to try to unalive himself after having a bad procedure. And that didn't work out for him.
But due to possible doctor or clinical error, there's at least 4 off the top of our head in the U.S.
I think, no, actually there are more.
Don't know about, there's more, okay.
Yeah.
But again, I'd like to know the statistics that Dr. Sam Lamb of Dallas, Texas is quoting when he's
I think he's in Plano. I think he's in Plano, Texas.
Yeah, Plano. The Dallas-Fort Worth generalized area, Plano, Texas. I didn't watch the whole thing just because I literally couldn't stomach it.
Hold on. You know what? This is really distracting me. I can't make this happen. So guys who are watching on TikTok and just tuning in, I can't answer your questions on TikTok. Call the show, 888-659-3727. I'm going to stop this live because, I see like 8 people in the room, 10 people in the room, 15 people in the room, and it's actually difficult to do it this way because I kind of have to use my microphone like a walkie-talkie. But go over to Shirley Tillman's hair transplant channel. That is youtube.com/hair transplant mentor, or go to thebaldtruth.com, which is my website, and click on Watch Live, and you can call the program.
Yes.
You don't have to live in the U.S. to call, brother. So give us a call, 888-659-3727. There are ways to call that toll-free number from all over the world. I have guys calling from Germany, people calling from the U.K., people calling from India, people calling from Australia, people calling from Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah, Kazakhstan. Yeah. Kazakhstan.
Yeah. So you guys can call in, figure it out. You're young, you're smart, you have AI. Jesus, I'm an old man trying to do this. You guys could figure it out. So let me see how do I get off of here, people? I don't even know how to get out of here. Can you believe this, Joe? I'm just going to have to close the app.
Doesn't help to have the pressure of being live either.
Just going to have to close the app. See ya.
Yeah, I was going to say, just swipe up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, guys, listen, we're not getting any calls, so we can talk about this.
Can I finish my point?
Talk all night. Oh, I didn't know you had a point. Go ahead. Sorry.
I wasn't done. I was mid-sentence criticizing Sam Lamb.
During the sentence, I didn't recognize there was a point. I'm sorry.
Anyway, and as you said earlier, Spencer, it's like, you've been asked to talk about it publicly. I've been asked to talk about it publicly. The event itself, I'm not making videos about that. I can say that no one knows what happened.
No.
And I actually have sources near the clinic that have told me that the clinic and the doctor isn't talking either, which is probably the advice of his attorney, to be frank. So all of this is perfectly reasonable, that no one knows what the hell happened, because investigations happen. They're necessary. And that's why I think it's even more negative and terrible for anyone that's a medical professional to start coming out and throwing shade on the entire situation as if it's a Turkey problem, or as if it's a India
black
problem,
market problem. Black market.
Or as if it's a black market problem. Exactly. Because none of these motherfuckers know what happened. So they have no place to actually talk about what happened, or to talk about generalities of how surgeons or surgeries can turn south and cause unaliving of patients. I think it's opportunistic.
There was a time when
it's sick.
There was a time when I gave Sam Lamb the benefit of the doubt. And listen, I don't hold any grudges towards anybody about anything in this industry. And I would sit down and I would talk to him and I'd have dinner with him if he came out to Los Angeles. I'd invite him into my home or into the studio, whatever. No problem, as long as he paid the bill. But, he really showed something to me during the first Global Hair Loss Summit. And it was fascinating. It was really a fascinating phenomenon. It's something that a lot of these physicians actually have. It's almost an illness. Let's say
it goes back to the collegiality that you were talking about, that some other doctor was happy to see in the industry.
Yeah, I would describe it as complete cowardness and a lack of integrity as far as he wanted to be involved with the Global Hair Loss Summit. I invited him to be involved. He was actually the first person to get his talk in. And I was like, that's great. Sam really, he's
committed.
He's committed.
He's on board.
Getting it together. And then he was, I guess, had a phone call or somehow addressed by those who did not want to see the Global Hair Loss Summit be a success. And he contacted me, said, this is a tough call for me, but I'm going to have to step down because my colleagues are unhappy that I'm involved. And, it's like, basically they put it to him like, it's either us or Kobren, which is hilarious because this is all about, improving the field.
Well, how can it be? How can it be? I mean, I know the answer, but how can it be Kobren or us if it's two separate events, not even brick and mortar, it's online, it's pre-recorded, and it's not even the same month, much less the same day?
Yeah, they were somehow under the impression...
There's nothing competing about it. It's
they were
ridiculous.
somehow under the impression by a guy who also disappointed me in life, Paul McAndrews, and that was a big disappointment. That was a blow, I have to say.
That was a bad one.
That was I have dealt with a lot of insanity in this field, but I never thought that I would have someone betray me in that particular way, just out of the blue.
Yeah.
It was frightening, actually.
Side note.
No, it was like...
Inside baseball there.
Like, it obviously doesn't hurt my work. It doesn't hurt me financially in any way. I was just like, really like, what? How is this a possibility? Paul, I made you the senior medical advisor of our organization.
Yeah.
I helped him in ways that I don't think he even recognizes, to be honest, which is hilarious to me. But it's sad.
Not.
It's sad.
Yeah.
And I thought he was, at least a man of integrity, had some degree of loyalty. And according to people that I spoke to, he was claiming that I said that we wanted to destroy the ISHRS, which is ridiculous. I remember having a conversation saying that I don't have to come after the ISHRS. They are destroying themselves. I just have to sit back and watch them implode. That was the conversation I had with him. So I don't know if the guy suffers from some degree of dementia or early onset or whatever it was, but it was wild. So he became the president of the ISHRS. All of a sudden, he's essentially saying, kind of leading the charge, according to doctors that I spoke with, not for physicians not to be a part of what ended up being the most, I love saying this because it's true, the most attended online or brick and mortar conference in the history of this field for 3 years.
3 years straight. Yeah.
3 years straight. Everyone who contacted us who was part of this, I'm going to give someone credit, guys, we'll take your calls in a second, who became part of the Global Hair Loss Summit, said, we effing schooled the ISHRS. It was a joke. I didn't expect to school them the way that we did. I really didn't think that what they were going to do and the money they were going to spend to do an online conference was going to be such a disastrous event.
Fall on its face.
Yeah. And I don't think they expected us to be able to do, and I have to give Y a tremendous amount of credit because she designed everything. And anyway, so
and I don't hold grudges, but now that you mention it, I do remember that when Sam Lamb canceled, he was the first to get his presentation in. I had already edited his presentation, so I did all that work on his presentation, and then he pulls the plug. I remember thinking, well, that was a waste of time. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate you.
And just for people who are watching, that's not the same person from WHLP network. It's a different, I just don't want to use the person's first name. But yeah,
right.
They really provided, they did an incredible job, designed everything for the summit. And I was just like, when I first saw it, I was like, it was essentially like my own ChatGPT back in 2020. I was just like, this is what I want.
Make it happen.
And it happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, with Sam, I don't think it was an easy phone call for him to make, to be fair. But
Yeah,
holy
no, of course.
cow, what a disappointment that was. And it really, to me, that really shows a tremendous lack of integrity and self-respect. Jerry Cooley, on the other hand, who is actually on the board of the ISHRS, told these people in not so many words to go fuck themselves. I'm a doctor. If I'm invited to be a part of something like this that could really benefit the field, I'm going to be a part of it. And I will never forget that.
That was a stand-up moment. It was a stand-up thing that Jerry Cooley did. Yeah.
I don't think Jerry recognizes, and you can tell him this one day if he doesn't hear this. I don't think he recognizes how much I've appreciated him being a stand-up guy over the years. Even some of the worst times in the industry at the beginning, with what happened with those animals over at the network and everything else that transpired, including what transpired with his own colleagues about that whole situation. He always was like...
Jerry Cooley is a stand-up guy.
Oh.
He's a genuinely good person. So
there are about 5 in this field that I would have in my home. I would just gladly, I'd be friends with them. I respect them tremendously. I don't want to name them all because I don't want to exclude everybody else and make them feel like,
Yeah, you start getting phone calls. Yeah, Am I on that list?
Yeah, exactly.
But, who are the 5, Kobren?
But, Jerry and I don't have a really strong personal relationship as far as we don't speak all the time, whatever it is. But, man, he's a good guy, and he is one of the best doctors in this field. He deserves his props, and he is just a man of integrity. Sam Lamb, sorry, Sam, I'm going to tell you how I feel. This is my opinion. Not so much. And it's not personal. It's just the way it is. Again, I would go out to dinner with you. We can talk about anything. I don't hold any grudges. But that really did shine a very bright light on your bullshit.
I'll be coming to Dallas. Let's go to dinner, Sam. On you. I want a good Texas steak. But
promoting this whole Fight the Fight campaign and this whole, black market nonsense, Sam, you are part of...
How'd that work out for you?
You are, Sam, you're a complicit, in my view, of everything that's going on in this black market. Your colleagues, people who are a part of your conference, helped to develop the black market.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that's the case, then you are either delusional, which I don't think that you are, or you recognize it, but you're like, you know what? These are my colleagues. We got to get along. I like to write textbooks. I like to put my name out there. I like to run this conference that has a level of success in the field, but no one outside the field knows anything or understands what it is, knows anything about it. Anyway, I don't like the idea that these guys were leveraging the death of this person to make
the unaliving.
To make a point that is not only irrelevant, but it's just untrue.
Yeah.
It's different if they were just discussing the potential complications and what can happen and essentially saying, look, this is a reality in hair transplant surgery. And, we feel for the family. We want to put it out there that this isn't perfect. Things can happen. You need to really be assessed properly by a physician. You need to know what you're getting into. This is still surgery.
Mm-hmm.
But to tell the story that if there's some sort of a black market in this field, that's a joke. The entire field, except for maybe 100 guys, are part of the black market. Maybe 150, part of the black market. Guys, hold on. We'll take your call. And I'm going on a rant here, but there are how many people in the ISHRS? Almost all of them
mm-hmm.
are, in my view, and at least here in the United States, are not necessarily doing things on the up and up. They're utilizing staff members that may not have legal, I was going to say permission, may not be able to do certain things they're doing in the OR within their scope of practice legally in every state in the union. Every state, not some states, Every effing
100%.
state. And you're all complicit. So, I mean, deal with that. You know, I like doing that because sometimes they pass this shit around. I remember there was a whole thing about me cursing on the air. Even one of my doctors, who's part of the ABHRS, he's a big, he's got one of the big fezzes at the ABHRS. He contacted me and said, you know, it's really unprofessional to curse on the air and stuff like that. I said, yeah, listen, I'll take it under advisement. And I'm like, so what's going on? These guys are passing this around? He's like, well, you know, I saw it. I'm like, oh, thanks. So then I find out they're passing around certain clips to somehow, in their mind, make me look unprofessional or bad. Or this has been going on my entire career. To me, it's like the more you pass my stuff around, the more relevant I am in the field. It's the Streisand effect. The reason why the Global Hair Loss Summit is the biggest conference in the world known to date, ever, in this entire field. And we walked away from it because, to me, it was just a pain in the ass. But I still have the ability to...
It was for me, too.
Yeah, it was for Joe, too. And for our staff here and for the people that actually helped to create it. The money that... Well, most people would be like, wow, you only have to do that once a year and you can earn this much money from it. You know what? I'm in a point in my life where that's not important to me. I have to make choices about my mental health and my well-being and those around me, and for Joe's as well. And even if it's an extra $500,000 a year, it's like, all right, well, that's great, but now I'm mentally exhausted. And you doctors don't appreciate shit anyway. So what's the point? Let's take a call and then we'll go.
All right.
Hey, you're on the air. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Matt from LA.
Matt from LA. What's happening, brother? Sorry for the rant, but I just had to do it.
No worries. Just want to say I appreciate you guys. I called in once before. Spencer, you've helped since the late 90s. I've been listening and helped me get this far in this journey. And Joe, you helped me out the last time. I think the only time I called was trying to get dutasteride mixed in.
Are you the guy that made stickers for me?
No.
Okay. Well, listen, it's interesting to speak to someone who's been listening since the late 90s, when I was young.
Yeah. So I really appreciate it. The question is weird. I don't know if you guys take it this far, but do you ever worry about going under anesthesia or certain drugs? For example, all blood pressure medication can cause hair loss. Do you worry about any of those types of things?
I don't worry about it myself because I don't take blood pressure medication, but it's a thing, and it's pretty significant. Statins, blood pressure medications. There are some medications that are less prone to affecting your hair. But are you on blood pressure medication now?
Nope, not yet. Don't want to, but. Just notice that anytime I look up something, pretty much everything has that in the mix as far as
all the most heavily prescribed medicines in this ridiculous field. I'll tell you, man, I thank God for acute medicine. I mean, it saves lives and things like antibiotics and different medications like finasteride and whatever else. But in general, our healthcare system is so broken. Everyone I know my age is on at least 5 medications, probably more. And I'm not saying some medications aren't completely necessary, but I think if a physician would sit somebody down and say, look, there's a good chance that if you make these major changes in your life, that you will not have to be on these medications. And all you have to do is follow these instructions. These doctors may be able to help a lot of people, but the truth is there's no incentive for people to be healthy. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just reality. I've been in the periphery of medicine for 30 years. I find it almost impossible to go to a doctor. So I can say that if you keep yourself well, the likelihood of you needing blood pressure medication is going to be less of a factor in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I completely agreed. The main thing I'm worried about is like even like simple procedures where you have to go under anesthesia. Seems like anesthesia can cause major problems with hair loss, but I don't know if either of you have had to go under like that before.
Yeah, I mean, I had one procedure when I was 21 years old. I had a hernia operation. I have another small hernia that I've been dealing with, a umbilical hernia, for like 20 some odd years, and it hasn't changed. And I just haven't had the operation. It looks like I have a slight outie. I never forget my ex. My ex was like, I didn't know you had an outie belly button. I'm like, I don't. She goes, yeah, you do. And I looked down, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it was a hernia. And this is more than 20 years ago. I'm not concerned about that. I mean, unless it's a major surgery, if you're under anesthetic, a general anesthesia for many hours, it's possible for sure. But if it's a relatively straightforward procedure and you're under for 2, even 3 hours, tilagene is unlikely. But there's also other medications when you go in for these procedures that you're given that could end up causing problems as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I guess the key takeaway is don't have an operation if you don't need it. So that includes elective surgery. And, just hope for the best. How old are you now?
46.
You're 46. You've been listening to me since the late 90s?
Yep.
Wow. So you were a kid.
I was starting off with the hair loss journey.
Holy shit. How'd you find me?
It's crazy.
KLSX?
KLSX, man, we crushed on KLSX. And dude, the money was incredible, I have to say. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but I remember these guys could not sell airtime on Sunday nights, and I'm just like, I can. And it's, they were initially they were paying me $500 a show to syndicate the show, CBS, and I was like, and then the guy's like, well, can you give us a list of people to sell it to because we're having trouble selling them? I'm like, who are you trying to sell it to? He gave me this list. I'm like, you're not going to sell it to them. And they were charging like $50 an ad. I'm like, is there a way I could own the time myself? And the rest was history. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but it's interesting. People are really stupid, but it's interesting that you bring this up because I had a friend of mine talking about his statin use. He's been on statins for about 7 years. And since he got on statins, he actually thought that maybe finasteride was no longer working for him. But that timeline was the exact time he was put on statins.
Yeah.
I think those things are poison, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I mean, don't worry about it. Just hopefully stay healthy.
Yeah, that part's fine. I just worry about stupid stuff like anesthesia. Getting into an accident, who knows what will happen.
How's your hair right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's holding on. It's slowed. It slowed the process for a long time.
Now, would you really stay up nights worrying about anesthesia?
Yeah, well, I've been here since 2020. It's like, is this the year, But it's okay.
Is this the year you're going under the knife? Listen, I have to say that I'm feeling my mortality. Like, I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, I feel like I'm broken. I'm in pain. I'm like, what? My shoulders, my back. And I get up, and
his eyelids.
I stretch out. I get a little sunshine. And I'm like, this could be it. This could be my last day. I'm going to enjoy today as much as I can. And that's kind of how I'm living my life now. But I still worry about stuff, and I shouldn't. There's nothing to worry about. But I'm constantly like, what if? And then you worry about your loved ones. You got to try to live in the moment, brother. It's hard. Trust me. I'm not a Zen person in general, but I'm trying to become one.
I appreciate that. Thank you guys.
All right, brother. Good luck. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for calling.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
This guy's got problems like me.
He's only 46. He's doomed.
Yeah. Well, now he actually has a chance.
Yeah. Just stay away from surgery.
I'm 14 years older than him, and
it's nothing serious.
I've suffered mentally and emotionally the entire time.
Okay, then.
Get out of it. Now's the time. Change your world by changing your mindset.
Save yourself. Save yourself.
I'm 60 years old. I'm still trying to learn. For you young people out there who are struggling, I'm telling you, 99% of everything that I've worried about in my life never came to fruition.
That's actually pretty poignant right there.
It's the truth.
What you're worried about never actually manifested.
I don't read any nonsense online anymore. I definitely try not to read comments about myself, which is Joe Rogan's theory. And Joe probably, I read some stuff even about Joe, like every once in a while. I'm just like, really? This is like the most successful broadcaster in the world. I know he calls himself a podcaster, but he's a broadcaster in history.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
And you're saying he needs to get his teeth whitened? Like, how? I mean, not that he would give a shit. He seems like he's very strong. He's very strong emotionally. But I mean, I just see
they probably saw the video of him on CNN where he looked yellow.
That's true. That's funny.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you something else, which I find interesting. Which is a good show. Well, yeah, we're gonna call it a night. But this is what I find interesting. So I put up a post on both Instagram and TikTok about celebrity hair transplants. I'm talking about what a great hair transplant Elon Musk has gotten and the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
I said he's not only the richest man in the world, but one of the smartest men in the world. And you should have seen the bullshit, the political nonsense, these captured idiots were posting and making comments. I'm not saying anything about Elon Musk except he's got one of the best celebrity hair transplants in the game. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's smart. To try to take that away from him, and then people start talking about, some people start talking about, well, he's obviously not that smart because he got involved with Trump and this. I'm just like, why? Who is constantly thinking about politics? And anyone who has that type of syndrome is an unhappy person. Take people for who they are, what they are. He's a major figure in this world. Love him or hate him, guy's got a great hair transplant. So I'm sorry, but the comments were they were brutal, and they were angry at me for mentioning. All right, so who should I mention?
Well, you got a lot of nerve mentioning someone by name because they got a good hair transplant.
Who should I mention? Would you like me to mention George Clooney? I don't think he's got a hair transplant. Or Jeff Daniels, no hair transplant. These are the guys that they would be happy with me talking about in a positive light.
Yes. Yes.
Everything's political in this world today. I am apolitical. I stay out of it.
I wonder how many of those were bots triggered by the name.
It may have been.
They're out there.
Yeah.
They're out there. So
just waiting for my my stripper bot. That's all I care about.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen, we're going to go. Thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out. It was a nice show. Joe and I are just practicing for our big break. 30 years.
That's all this is.
Yeah. This is just a trial run. Every week.
When that happens, this will be subscription model only with sponsors.
Yeah,
we'll have commercials that interrupt us every 5 minutes that you have to watch.
Your hair looks good today, by the way, Joe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys.
Yours is too.
I didn't need that, but I appreciate it. Doesn't have to be a tit for tat compliment thing, but that's very nice of you.
Didn't you?
I
didn't need it. Didn't you?
It's very nice to hear it because these kids online are brutal about my receded hairline.
Of course.
I was going to say nominative word. That nominative is not a word. That's just
the bald truth.
Yeah, that's the key word though. Receded. Not receding. You 18-year-olds
nice.
who are making fun of me, you're receding.
Ooh.
And that's what's going to continue to happen with the rosemary oil BS that you're putting on your head.
Yeah. Keep relying on that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Until next time, guys. Follow us on Instagram at Spencer Kobren, at Joe Tillman Official, and TikTok at Spencer Kobren. And Joe somehow has another TikTok name. I don't know why he doesn't brand it across the whole thing, but who am I to say anything?
It's just Joe Tillman on TikTok.
At Joe Tillman at TikTok.
Yes.
So until next time, guys, be strong. God bless. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry for any inconvenience you may have been put to prior to the programme, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And if you could now leave by the exits at the rear, that'd be splendid. Thank you.